when we moved. My wife is Norwegian. Half the comments, maybe more, on that video that I made about the role that moving to Norway played in my de-radicalization, my move psychologically and politically from neo-Nazism to anti-fascism. The comments, a lot of them were about my wife. Like, your wife married you when you were a neo-Nazi. Kind of raises questions about her, and the answer is yes, it does. She is implicated. And all of the kind of issues and items of de-radicalization, the feelings of guilt and shame, just the nausea of the full realization of what I was involved in and how mistaken I was. A lot of that applies to her. The story of her and me, I mean, there are a couple stories. One is a story of someone who was in love with another person, not for their politics, and too young and naive and stupid to fully appreciate what my views were, how deeply held they were, and how involved I was in this movement. I was involved in the alt-right before it was the alt-right, and I was there at the formation of the alt-right when it was just kind of declared and conceptualized as a concept and a movement. And that was done by people, who ultimately their ideas aren't impressive, but they have some sort of intellectual pedigree. They're well educated. They know how to talk and present like intellectual people. So until the alt-right really broke through into the mainstream, it was a lot of meetings and conference, airport conference hotels. And my wife was along for some of those and just meeting people who seemed to be polite and seemed to be smart and were nice to her. And it wasn't until later that the red flags really became evident, and she really had to confront what it was I was involved with. There was a point I remember where someone in my group spoke positively about Anders Behring Breivik, and she snapped, and she was just like, nope, homie, don't play that. There is no justification for what he did. But by the time she began to wake up to things fully, we had been married for a few years. I think there was a point where she was getting closer to divorcing me. But fortunately, that's where things began to turn for me, where my realizations began to set in. So ultimately, I'm happy that that she married me, even though it's a tricky thing to think about now. But more than a 3-minute video can really explain.